Thank you very much, sir, for your guidance. A book which is dedicated to the great sages and saints of ancient India and written by someone dedicated to Sanskrit and Sanskriti is truly a great book. May I now invite Professor Mahadevan to enlighten us more about the same.
भारतीय सर्वकारस्य शिक्षा मंत्री आदरणीय धर्मेंद्र प्रधान महोदयः, भारतीय सर्वकारस्य शिक्षा विभागस्य मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट डॉक्टर सुभाष सर्कार महोदयाः, अत्र सम्मिलिताः बहवः पंडिताः भारतीय ज्ञान परंपराणां तावत् आसक्तिः प्रकटयन्तः सन्तः जनाः सर्वेषाम् आदौ मम नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि। सर्वेषां स्वागतं च। अस्मिन् शुभसन्दर्भे स्वतन्त्रभारते यत् पूर्वैः अनिल महोदयैः उक्तम्, इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम विषये टेक्स्ट बुक एतादृश संभवः एव न आसीत्। तस्य लोकार्पणार्थं वयं सर्वे अत्र सम्मिलिताः अद्य। महान् सन्तोषस्य विषयः। मुण्डकोपनिषत् विशेषोपनिषत् दश उपनिषत्सु मुख्यतमः अन्यतमः अस्ति। तत्र आदौ एकः प्रश्नः वर्तते। शौनकः इति महाशालः, शौनकः महाशालः विधिवत् अंगीरसम् उपसन्नः। Then he asked a question, कस्मिन्नु भगवतो ज्ञाते सर्वमिदं विज्ञातं भवति इति. He asked, please tell me, by knowing that I will be known of everything. एवं तत्र मुण्डकोपनिषत् तस्य आदौ एषः प्रश्नः अस्ति। तस्य उत्तरद्वारेण विशेषतया अंगीरस विषयः तस्य विवरणं पराविद्या अपराविद्या इत्यादिकम् अस्ति. The reason I am quoting this is our vidya, our literature is of this variety. The inquiry, the nature of inquisitiveness, the nature of inquiry that people had was of this variety. Please tell us, by knowing that I will be known of everything. So we can expect such a society must have created a lot of valuable knowledge. How can we say those knowledge are not created? But it was so unfortunate that we were not able to, I mean, they are all available. I'm not saying they are not available. They are all available in great detail. Tasya Vyakyanam Ityadikam Kritam. There is a lot of commentaries. Great service has been done. But to bring it into a format which a young mind can go through it in a very structured curriculum, because when you have a university system, there is a curriculum, there is a notion of a syllabus. So there are certain topics that we need to select and introduce it in a particular way, so that the students go through it. That kind of an effort required so much time in our country to happen. But anyway, I think this is in any case an inevitable outcome, and we are only happy that we have been able to set on to that journey today. I must very quickly trace the genesis of this book. The whole idea of this book started in 2016, when I accepted to be the founder vice chancellor of Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth. आदिशंकर भगवत्पादस्य जन्मस्थले एषः विश्वविद्यालयः निर्माणितः अस्ति. So I agreed to be the founder vice chancellor for the simple reason they wanted to create an university in which the Indian knowledge system will be taught as the basis. I mean, they are still teaching today, commerce, MBA and all that. But Indian knowledge system would be a very important starting point for this. So I went and designed that particular structure. And at that time, this Indian knowledge system idea started. Although I was the vice chancellor, I, along with my two co-authors, we offered a course called Indian Knowledge System 1 and Indian Knowledge System 2. We tried for the first time to put these together in a format and then operate. So that is the genesis of it. And then, of course, as Anilji was saying, AICT announced this course, and then there were, people who were saying, how can we teach a course? And all kinds of comments came and so on. On 1st January 2020, I wrote a letter to the then Honorable Minister of Education. I just wrote a letter saying such a thing requires, as a professor, I am telling you, if a textbook is there, that course is definitely going to be established for the next 30, 40 years, because that is very important. So I will be able to write, please tell us how we can do. In less than a week, I received a reply fully supporting this initiative, and they said the AICT, Professor Anilji will be with us, help us in this process. That is how this whole project started. But we never thought at that time this corona will come. And by March, when we were all starting, I personally applied 1 year leave. I thought I should sit and read it full time. It's a very serious commitment that I should do. So I took 1 year leave from my institute. My institute was kind enough to give me that sabbatical. But the charm of ancient knowledge system, I want to tell this. The charm of ancient Indian knowledge system is it is available in plenty for somebody who wants to really look into it. So this corona did not come in our way at all. Although we thought we will be stumbled, we will be stopped, we may not be able to make much progress. That was not the case. There is so much material available in the internet, in the libraries and so on. So in no way it came in our way of doing this particular exercise. I think it was such a pleasant experience for all the three of us. There is so much of very interesting things. I just want to narrate one or two, otherwise sometimes these things are missed. See, all of us who are sitting here have gone through education system which did not teach us Indian knowledge system by any stretch of imagination. For example, today there is so much talk about binary numbers. When we have been told binary numbers originated some 50 years back because computers came and so on. Pingala in the 2nd century BC has written what is called Chandra Shastra. This is a Shastra and prosody. So he has so many algorithms in that. All that we need to do is Hrasva is equal to 1 and Dirgha is equal to 0. If you just replace in his entire description, you say Hrasva is equal to 1 and Dirgha equal to 0, what you find is a beautiful binary mathematics which unfolded some 2,300 years back. If you have a 10-digit binary number, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 10 digit, then there are 512 such possibilities. 2 power 10 is the number of possibilities. So Pingala has an algorithm. If you tell me that number, that strip of 10 numbers, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, whatever that number, he has algorithm to tell in which row it is there in the 512. He may say this is the 377th row in which this strip of binary number is there. Or other way, if you want to know what is the binary number in 499th row of that stack of array of numbers, algorithm is there. Then we all read in modern science what is called Pascal's triangle, which is all available there, Meru Prastara and all that. So what I am saying, every field we found it. We were just discussing about the wood steel. Wood steel in 400 BC, 600 BC, we were exporting wood steel, which was used for what is called Damascus blades, the swords and the fighting. They are all exported from peninsular India. And I was mentioning, as late as 1963, there is a conference in France, somewhere they were not able to still find out what is the composition, how to make wood steel. We did it till 17th century in this country. After that, there was a mining ban. There was a tax on exporting. So all the industry came to a grinding halt because the then government decided that we should not do any of this. India was the home for how to extract zinc. Nobody knew. There's something called downward distillation process. See, zinc, when you vaporize it, Between 500 degrees centigrade and 600 degrees centigrade, you have to get the metal. Otherwise, it will become zinc oxide after that. So Indians found a method to do it. It's called downward distillation method. How do you cool that vapor between 500 and 600 and extract the metal? Others didn't know. There are reports which say in 11th century AD, which is 1000 years back, our production was industrial grade production in zinc. Million tons and that kind of numbers. I've been reading those kind of reports. So what I'm trying to say, you look at every angle of Indian knowledge system, you will be astonished to see there are such wonderful numbers. In fact, there is a nice mnemonic in Pingala's Chandra Shastra, Yamata Rajabana Salagam. That is what is called, it is a De Bruyn cycle for a binary letter of length 3. So these kinds of things are aplenty. So therefore, what is started today is just the beginning. I think the strength, it will roll on its own strength. It requires, I keep telling people, there's a lot of effort to glorify IKS. Please don't do it. It needs no helping hand from anyone to glorify. We need to present it, we need to dig it and present it. There are some very interesting people who have done, there is one lady by name Crumrish, Stella Crumrish, came in 1940, spent 4 or 5 years in Calcutta, wrote such a wonderful book on Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, Dvitiya Kanda. There's a lot of ideas on paints and painting and colors and all that. She has written such a beautiful temple called book called the Hindu Temples. The entire Vastu Purusha Mandala, that's a very good book to read. So many people have dipped into it, digged it. Indians, for some reason, in the last 200 years, there's no point in talking about all that. We don't have to. I think we can go on from here. It is my personal request that we all have a responsibility. Say, I may be a professor of maths, somebody may be a professor of chemistry, somebody may be specializing in metallurgy, somebody may be specializing in physics. All that we need to do is, in addition to all that teaching and research that we are doing, if only we choose to spend a certain amount of time looking at, as IKS has anything on this subject matter, you will be surprised. You will find plenty of material. And I think I have been telling Anilji also, every chapter of my book is just the beginning, because the book is called Introduction to IKS. Every chapter of my book eminently qualifies for a full book and a full 3-credit course, in some cases 6-credit courses. We should. In Canada and America, they are running courses called rope geometry, because Indians knew that they will have a stick and a thread. With a stick and a thread, you can only generate a circle. You can tie the thread to the stick. What can you do? You can only draw a circle. But with circle, they were generating any kind of shape that is required for them. So the entire cyclic geometry is called Shulba Sutra. Shulba is the thread. So if Canadian universities and American universities are teaching rope geometry, what are we waiting for? That is a question we need to ask. And if we can dig into our Indian knowledge systems and mathematics, I know some great stalwarts are sitting here. Professor Ramasubramanian is there, Professor M.D. Srinivas is there. They have done phenomenal work in mathematics. In mathematics, the kind of things that we have done is unparalleled. It is seen to be believed. Somebody in 1495 says that there are only this many number of pan-diagonal magic square of size 4 is possible, and you have to wait till 1923 for somebody to actually prove that that is true. The kind of things that we have done in astronomy, the kind of things that we have, a whole long list of results that we have developed from a different perspective. I am sure the current younger generation is very anxious. My personal experience, sir, I want to tell you, I am teaching Bhagavad Gita for the last 10 years in IIM Bangalore as a 3-credit course. I find that the students, about 200 students take. I have to stop because there is only so much you can teach in a class. So every year I take 150 to sometimes 175 students. There is a genuine interest to know what is there in our corpus. I mean, this is a great resurgence, which is very natural for any society. I think we are all fortunate to be in that period of time in this country. Till 1700, we were doing something. There is a 200-year, 300-year pass in between. God has been kind to us. We are all back here at this point in time where we can actually take all these kind of things and then go on. So this is a very humble attempt. We don't, I am personally, me and my co-authors, we don't claim any great expertise in Indian knowledge system. We have done some serious reading and we found some interesting material which can be nicely put together in the form of a nice book. Prentisal was kind enough to PHI Learning was kind enough to take up the publishing part of it. Quickly they came about doing that and so on. But I am sure that this is just a beginning. And every chapter that we have written, in fact, we have some more chapters to write, perhaps in the next edition we will do. Every chapter that we have written must kindle an interest not only in the taught, but also in the teacher. And if only we set on the journey of writing on each of these topics, I think there is a great cause we would have served. Most importantly, I think we will all have a last sleep which is peaceful to us. We are all actually working for that. I think at the end of the day, we want our last sleep to be peaceful. I think this is a great opportunity to contribute to the Rishi Paramparas that we can do, to bring it back, restore it back, and provide opportunities to think of today's problems in a slightly different paradigm. What has happened? The Western paradigm has taken us, it has given us a lot of good things. But I think there is time now, there is a crying need to say, are there different ways by which we can look at the same problem and then look at solutions for it? I think IKS can play a huge role for us to relook the entire thing. So with these few words, I am sure you will take a look at the book. The book has 4 nice parts. Part 1 talks about the ontology of the book. Very quickly, in about 100 pages, we have talked about the Vedic corpus, we have talked about alternative knowledge systems, we have talked about the philosophical systems, the darshanas, we have talked about the Puranas and the Itihasas, which are nothing but wisdom through the ages. So after a quick introduction of all these in about 100 pages, we have spent about 350 pages on things which every youngster would love. Take my word for it. The second section talks about our greatest contribution in numbers. How we have been able to think of huge numbers. Gautama Buddha, when he was having his Swayamvara, he gave a number 10 power 421. His Swayamvara was a quiz on mathematics. He was asked number 10 power 49, he went up to 10 power 421. And we have done the decimal system and the zeros are all greatest contributions. We have talked about it. We have a fantastic system by which we can establish valid knowledge. We have in the Nyaya and Tarka Shastra which can help us to establish valid knowledge. The Sanskrit is in my chapter on Sanskrit looks like a chapter on computer science. If you look at it, it's all algorithms, structure of how the languages come and so on. Then we have a section on mathematics, astronomy, science and technology. All that we have in the next for town planning. Wonderful material is available in town planning. I don't know why our architecture people are not at all teaching that. Very interesting material is available. Then Artha Shastra, health, wellness and psychology. So we have touched on all these to arouse an interest. I am sure this is just a beginning. The ball will roll. It will gain on its own the momentum. I think the current government, all our netas of this country are doing a yeoman service, supporting us. I think there are enough people ready to do it. I think the Vatavarna is very good now. I think we should make use of it. I must once again thank the Honorable Minister and the Government of India, because that was the support with which, when we simply wrote a letter, there was a support which came from there. And of course, AICT doing a lot of work, and I'm sure many of us will follow suit and make once again restore the glory of this country and make this Vishwaguru again. Thank you very much.